have in front of us is a version of the General Journal and the General Ledger. If you don't understand what general journals, general ledgers, debits, and credits are, don't worry about it, because we will cover it in detail and you will understand it. This general journal entry records the initial investment into a company. What you see is a cash debit entry of $20,000 and an owner's equity credit entry of $20,000. This transaction happened on 3/1/13. The General Journal is also known as the original book of entry. There are other special journals and subsidiary ledgers used in accounting, but for our learning purposes, we are assuming the General Journal is our only journal. We will be covering special journals and other ledgers at another time. For every account listed in the General Journal, there's a corresponding account in the General Ledger. For instance, on 3/1/13, the cash entry of $20,000 debit is also recorded in the General Ledger as a $20,000 debit on 3/1/13. The owner's equity amount of $20,000 is also recorded in its General Ledger account on the same date as a $20,000 credit. Other information that you see in the General Journal is also reflected in the General Ledger. Like for instance, the 101 is just the account number for cash. The 300 is the account number for owner's equity. The J1 in the General Journal tells us that this entry was recorded on page 1 of the journal. And if you look at the General Ledger, it's referenced for both accounts. As we're working through our study, I'll be using shortcuts. For instance, instead of this elaborate setup here, you're going to see entries like this for cash and OE. Very simply, 20,000 and 20,000. And then we're going to be using the T accounts for our General Ledger. We'll show our cash like this, 20,000 as a debit and 20,000 in owner's equity as a credit. The left side is debits, the right side is credits. These shortcuts allow us to move through the information quicker and at the same time give sufficient information for you to absorb the material.